you knew it wasn't going to stay completely standard. So apologies for having a bit of a laugh with you in the last video. But first process for modification, in my view, is getting a benchmark for where it is. So that's what I'm here to do today. On the dyno with the JDM Forester XT SH5, and just see what it's supposed to make. It should be making about 230. Obviously that's on Japanese fuel. We've not got Japanese fuel here. We've got 99 octane, so it's got V-Power in there, or actually no, it's got SO Supreme Plus in there. So I'll see what it makes on that, and I'll give the map a little bit of a tweak just to make it more suitable for UK fuel. And if I can get a bit more power, then great. Can you hear that noise? It's quiet, it's calm, it's project shh. So before we go back to the dyno for the dyno mapping, let me tell you about my experiences with this car for the last 2 weeks. Done about 2,000 miles in the last 2 weeks, and you know, obviously there's things that I love, things that I like, things that I don't like, and things that I really don't like. So let me talk you through those. It's a JDM XT 2-litre turbo, 230 horsepower from the factory. I've mapped it to, and you'll see the results from that later on. That was last week. So let me tell you about the things that I like, things that I love. It is a Subaru. You know, I love Subarus. I've had Subarus for 23 years now. This is probably my 8th or 9th. I've lost count. This SH5 is a great example. It's a really good car. I don't know why they didn't bring a 2-litre turbo into the UK. They brought the 2-litre normally aspirated, and they brought a diesel. Who the hell thought that was a good idea? You know, the XT was always the best seller for the Forester, but they decided with this version to bin it for the UK market. Idiots. This car is fabulous. Like 230 horsepower from the factory is more than enough to have a lot of fun with it. It handles well, albeit it's high off the ground, so it leans a bit. The brakes are good, they're firm and positive. The steering's, you know, very direct. As you would expect from a Subaru, it handles like a Subaru, just a bit softer, just a bit less crashy, a little bit less knocky and raw. It feels like a Subaru, in its soul it feels like a Subaru, but it's quiet. You know, because of the full frame doors, the windows, there's no wind noise. There's some road noise because it's not a premium luxury car, so soundproofing wasn't like top of the list for Subaru, but it's quiet and calm and nice, and surprisingly quite economical. In the first full tank of fuel, I got 400 miles before I needed to fill it up. Not bad. I think that works out about 35 to the gallon. Again, not bad. Put your foot down, obviously drinks it. It's a Subaru. So this version of the Forester was Subaru's first real foray into the SUV side of things. The Foresters before were just like a wagon rather than an SUV. So this is their attempt at an SUV, an all-terrain sports utility vehicle, and it does the job really well. It's a little bit high off the ground for my liking, but I'll come back to that. But as usual with the Subaru four-wheel drive system, the grip in all weather conditions, I just know it's going to be amazing. The high vantage point from having the car up higher is is actually quite safe and nice and reassuring for driving on normal roads. On the motorway in particular, you can see past a lot of cars, because even the small cars now are massive. So you can see past those, so you can judge the danger in front of you. So I'm just taking it on a really bumpy country road here, and you can see and you can hear, hopefully, you know, the lack of noise and rattles. There's little squeaks, obviously. It's a Subaru, it's going to have that kind of thing. I think we might need to reverse here. Obviously it's JDM, so it beeps going into reverse. It's not a reverse sensor. It just tells you you're in reverse, but I already know that anyway because I put it in reverse. Why the hell that was a good idea, I have no idea. So what do I love about it? It's a great little engine, EJ20 engine, superb. Quite a small turbo on this. Pretty sure it's the TF035, but I haven't had any of the engine bay components off to actually examine it, see whether it's a TD04 or a TF. So I'll find out in due course and obviously update in the description. As a JDM, comes with a stereo or head unit, if you want to use the modern terminology, that is virtually useless in the UK. So first job for me was to replace that with one that I can actually connect my phone to, so that I can use this as the office that I need it to be. When I'm out and about mapping, and I do a lot of miles each year, I need to be able to make and receive telephone calls. Because it's quiet, because I've now got the phone paired to the stereo, I can do that easily. What else do I like? It's spacious, it's comfortable, the seats are amazing. There's a center armrest that comes out, you can properly chill, arm on there, one hand on the steering wheel, indicator on that stalk as well. It's easy to drive. Long journeys will be a doddle in this. Cup holders, brilliant. Cup of coffee, another cup of coffee or another can of something, great. Lots of storage space, but, and here's number one niggle for the moment, all of the compartments are hard plastic, so you can't put keys anywhere without them rattling. So a little bit of felt, self-adhesive felt into the bottom of those cures that problem for me. Next thing that I didn't like, it sits a little bit too high. I know I was saying that was a good thing. It is a good thing, but it does mean that the car is more inclined to roll going around corners, and I do like cornering. So I know I said I wasn't going to modify the car. I have fitted tying lowering springs to it end of last week, actually no, beginning of this week, which dropped it 45mm at the front, 40mm at the back. Quite a big drop, but it absolutely looks right on the car. Gives it a much more squat feel, handles better because it's got a lower centre of gravity, and you know, just looks like it should have looked. What else don't I like? Project Shh. It is just a little bit too quiet out of the exhaust when I want to have a little bit of play, because this is actually pretty quick. You'll see when I get to the mapping later on that, you know, it's pretty much STI power, and they're no slouches, but I want it to sound a bit more Subaru. I want it to sound a bit more sporty. So I am on the hunt for some rear silencer boxes that will just bring out the note a little bit more. I don't want it loud and drony and ear splitting. I've made that mistake before. It would ruin this car for what I need it to do, and I'm not going to do it. I know the exact boxes that I'm going to get. It's just a matter of locating them and getting them shipped from Japan. So what else am I going to change? The handling is Subaru. It handles like a Subaru, just a bit soft and woolly. So to tighten up the handling, just to make it a little bit less understeery, I'm going to fit a stronger rear anti-roll bar. The 16mm anti-roll bar that they fit from the factory is just way too skinny, in my opinion, to make the car handle like I feel it should do. So I'm not going to go overboard with that. 20mm rear anti-roll bar, probably a white line one, which will be adjustable, so I can adjust it between one of the 3 settings. Will do the job perfectly for me on that. We'll just tighten it up, just make it a little bit pointier into the corners and into roundabouts. And I think that's all I'm going to do suspension wise. Probably. If you want to see where it got to, just completely standard, then keep watching. So inside of the Forester SH is remarkably similar to a hatchback. So same dash panels, same door panels, same stereo surround. I have put a new stereo in, but I'm just waiting for, I haven't got the keys on me, just waiting for the little black surround part to go around just to seal the edges here, because the double din isn't quite big enough to fill the gap that's left by taking the standard stereo out. Obviously a Japanese stereo will only go up to 90 point whatever FM, and I don't listen to radio too, so I need it to pair with the phone, need Android Auto and various other bits. So I've got a Kenwood system that's gone in, that I put that in the other day. So yeah, this is the interior of my new office. So that's the new stereo in place, lit up and connected on Android Auto. The only thing I haven't got round to sorting out yet is the steering wheel controls, because the steering wheel has volume and channel and whatever you controls on there, but I haven't connected that up yet. So if anyone's got a tip on the connector that I need for that, then please let me know. So strapped on the dyno, same way as I normally do. Just going to give it a base run, see what it's doing, see what the map's saying, see what the power is, make sure everything's happy, make sure it's debt free. It feels like it is on the road, but it feels like there's a slight hesitation where the ECU is making some corrections. So I just want to see what's going on with the data logs. And for Academy members, I'll go into an awful lot of detail on what I'm seeing in the data, and also the changes that I make to the map. That is the standard ROM file for my car, the new daily driver. So it's got all the bits that I need to look at the moment, as far as boost targets, boost limits, fueling tables, like base fueling tables, ignition tables are all in there. So there's various of those, similar to the hatch. Because this is drive-by-wire and it has the SI drive as well. So there's 3 different lots of requested torque tables for each, whether it be I mode, Sport Sharp, or Sport. So it will work in the same way as a hatch STI on that. So I'm just going to give it a run as it is and see what it makes. So So I'll just reset the ECU just to clear out anything that's in there. You'll note on this that after a reset, the advanced multiplier comes down to 0.3. So that's not because it's heard bad things that are going on, it's just because that's what it's set to reset to after a reset of the ECU. So let me switch the fans on. So I've tried to make it as quiet as possible in here so that I've got proper sound, but it's very difficult. The fans outside are really noisy. So here we're going with yeah, the ROM. So the cooling temperature up to 58, so I'll need to warm it up a little bit before I can do a power run. And hopefully during the power run it'll produce exactly what it's supposed to do out of the factory, which is 230 horsepower. I'll set the gearing up first and we'll see whether it does it. So we're in the sports shop, ready to go. Okay, let's get rid of the previous I-mode run and I'll jump out and show you the graphs. Right, so that's the starting point, 183 at the wheels. Got a little bit of a boost spike here. It shouldn't be doing that, it should be static, but all Subarus are different. Fueling a little bit leaner than I would want it, so I will change the map. I will tune it for UK fuel. It wasn't detting, but I will bring this down sort of below 11.5, probably 11.4. But as far as power is concerned, it's making good power. You know, it's supposed to be 230 and that's made 239.2, so very happy with that. So just to remind you, this car is completely standard, completely stock, as the Americans would say. I know they laugh at me for saying standard, but it's stock. No changes to the exhaust, no changes to turbo, no changes to air filter. It's just got a standard stock air filter in there. Completely standard stock car. So 239, not bad. Should fire up now. Yeah. Right, so pop the fans on. Get the data login working again. I know what I forgot to do. I forgot to put the advanced multiplier up to 1, so I'll have to relearn that. Okay, so back running again. Advanced multipliers at 1. Fuel pump duty's down to 33, so it's fully operational as far as ABCS are concerned. So let's do another run. Hopefully that boost will hit 1.2 and stay there for a while before it eventually disappears. I'm sure the turbo's not big enough or man enough to hold that kind of boost all the way up. So we'll get into third gear. Right, so it made more boost, but it didn't hold it all, so I need to work on that, look at the wastegate duty and see if I can get it to hold a bit more there. But it's holding that all the way up, so that's a good sign. Added a bit more fuel. There's a couple of little peaks here that need to be ironed out. But as far as power is concerned now, instead of 239, we're now 247. So not a bad improvement. But there is still more to be had on that, I think. So getting there, slowly, surely. So I'll fine tune the fueling, see if I can get a bit more fuel in the mid-range there where it's a bit uneven. Obviously, as you saw, the fuel map is smooth, but in reality to the fuel map is different. So I'll work on that, make some changes to the wastegate duty, see if we can hold that boost at the higher level in the lower part of the rev range, and then give it another run. Back in a bit. Okay, so while that's loading on, which doesn't take very long on a CAN bus car, just tell you that this is my car, my daily driver, so I'm not after massive power. Just using this as an example just to see what it will do on a standard JDM XT. It should be 230 standard. Mine made 239, makes a change from me to have a car that's made slightly more power than it should be. Normally my Foresters make slightly less. But anyway, so it started off at 239, it's now 247, and this next tweet hopefully will take it over the 250 mark. Right, so advanced multipliers at 1 because I set it to be 1 to get rid of the learning. Fuel pump duty is down, so AVCS will be working. So set it into Sport Sharp. I'll also switch off the traction control as well. Let's get out of the car and show you what's going on. Right, so fueling much better. The purple trace here. Low 11s, lovely. Because it's running a bit richer, as I want it to, it's actually costing a little bit of power at the top. There was a little bit of detonation and it just took out ignition timer, or dropped the advanced multiplier down at this point, which took the timing out here. Advanced multiplier corrections tend to be quite severe, so you'll see big dips in graphs. But mid-range, it's nice. There's a good amount of power there, hitting 241, which for what I'm wanting to do is great. But I will try and smooth this out and see if we can get that 250 back. Okay, so car's up to temperature, advanced multiplier 1, fuel pump duty down to 33, so AVCS will be working. Right, so now 253.5. Good improvement all the way through there, which I'm very pleased with. Air fuel ratio nice all the way through. So 25 up on standard. Perfect. So was it safe with the standard map? Yes, it was. Doesn't mean every JDM XT Forester is going to be. So at the very least, get it checked out. Get it on the dyno, make sure it's not detting, because it'd be a real shame to ruin the engine of your car. This one produced slightly more than I was expecting without a map on there. With a map, it made 253.5, which is a good result in my opinion. Completely stock car, completely standard car to use UK lingo. Yeah, very pleased.